Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is me, Mysterious Cameraman, and today we're going to be talking about X-Men 97. So, the show officially wrapped up yesterday. Well, technically today at the time of filming this, but yesterday when I'm recording this. And I will say this show is incredible. I haven't done any reviews on the episodes throughout the weeks. I just haven't, felt the need to. I think there are just so many people talking about it. It's not something I'm really, pulled to talk about. And I also just haven't felt the want to necessarily review it. But yeah, let's just talk about this thing. This show is incredible. I'm personally someone who pretty much doesn't like animation in any sense. I just don't feel like I ever connect to characters as much as animation as I do in live action. And I just feel like I think that's just a personal thing for me. I know there are people that love animation, and I'll say there are times that good animation, like Into the Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse, where I think it's good. But even that, I don't feel like I'm connecting to as much. But I did very much enjoy this show. I was really expecting to enjoy this show but not love it. But I will say it really blew my expectations away. So, talking about the characters, I've always liked the X-Men. I will say I go through X-Men phases. Like when I'm watching the films, I'm like, wow, the X-Men are good. But I'll say I like the idea of the X-Men, but I don't love any of the X-Men characters. There are very few X-Men I actually enjoy. I just feel like the movies just haven't done Cyclops, Jean, really Storm, any of the characters justice. I think Charles and Magneto were done very well in First Class and Future Past and stuff. But I wish that we got really good X-Men in live action. I think that's what's going to happen in Marvel's X-Men in 2027, I think. But what I think is so good about this show is the fact that it is so faithful to the comics. This gave me vibes I haven't seen any. This is my first ever Marvel animated show, I think, for 10, 15 years. I think I remember seeing an Avengers animated show at some point. I remember Thanos and Silver Surfer with Infinity Stones. That's all I really remember. But I remember from when I really did enjoy the show so much more than I thought I was going to. I think the first 4 episodes were strong. I don't think they were as strong as the back half, and especially Tolerance's Extinction. Episode 1 I thought was good. I didn't think it was great. I will say episode 1 I thought was decent. I think I was really on board with episode 2. I completely forgot about What If. This gave me I will say, I think What If is not as good as this series. But for me personally, I enjoyed What If more than this. I don't know if I actually enjoyed What If more. That's the thing. I think I enjoyed the animation style of What If more. And I also connected with the characters of What If. But I actually really enjoyed a ton of what this show did. And I think I actually probably, X-Men 97 is better than What If. I just want to say, I kind of just have to think about this show a little more and really accept the fact that this show is so good. But it really is so good. The first episode I think is strong. I will say I didn't personally love the first episode very much. I think the first episode was really the nostalgia for the returning viewers. As someone who really, at that time, I really didn't see any X-Men content for a few years, especially I've never seen animated shows. So that was a nice bring back, but I didn't love that episode. It was really episode 2 when I got on board, and I think episode 2 was very strong with getting everyone back on board. Episode 3 as well. I actually enjoyed episode 3 quite a bit. I think episode 3 was strong. I didn't think it was the strongest. I think I liked episode 3. I did not love episode 4. I will say, I liked the life-death arc. I think it was interesting. I did not love the life-death arc. I feel like because I'm not someone who loves animation, I feel like this is going to be one of the worst reviews you'll ever hear of X-Men 97. I have heard so many reviews this is the best Marvel show ever made and stuff, and I do like a lot of parts of this. I just don't feel like, if it's a more I just don't feel like, because I'm not connecting with the characters as much, it's not elevating certain parts of the show for me. I liked the Jubilee part of episode 4. I did not love Life Death, and I did not like Life Death much in episode 6 either. For me personally, it just isn't the most interesting arc. And it's not to say I dislike it, because that is actually quite the opposite. Maybe Life Death was 7. What happened in episode 7? I'm trying to think. Like, I don't remember much of what happened. What is while we do this, I'm going to quickly just figure out what episode 7 was. Because I might actually change my mind on what I'm saying. Let's quickly Google this. And this is not being cut from the video. I like doing raw takes on this stuff. X-Men 97. Okay, let's see the episode guide. As I was saying, Life Death I just didn't love. Oh, Bright Eyes was 7. Okay. No, I like that episode. That episode was very good. For me, Life Death just isn't the greatest for me personally. I just don't love... I'm even looking at the IMDb scores. We're looking at an 8.4, 9.1, 8.6. Now we're dropping to 7.1 for Life Death. Then a 9.8, then a 7.9. Like, I think people pretty much know that it is crazy that, remember, it is a 9.8. That's crazy. But I just don't think Life Death worked. I think it worked for comic readers. If you are a comic reader, I can see how appealing that arc is. For me personally, I just found it a little bit too slow. And I think in live action it would have worked so much better if we got... I think for people who've seen the 5 seasons, this would have been great for Storm. Because it would be a huge arc for her and you're already familiar with the character. But I think if this was live action and I already personally knew the character, I think that would have been better. But for a new character and for it being animation, which I don't connect with as much, I just didn't feel the impact of it. Even the scene when Storm got her powers back, I was like, the music is very good in this scene, and I loved the music. But besides from that, the scene was like, I didn't feel much for it. Like, I felt some, and I think the music was a huge part of that. Because I don't feel like I got enough emotional connection for Storm. But I think that's also what happens in a 10-episode animation, especially when you're not seeing the first 5 seasons. So I can't really fault that. But I also don't think the Life Death arc worked for as many people who just came to see the show as I just saw the numbers. Remember It, episode 5 was absolutely amazing. The first half was decent. I will say I didn't love the first half. Once the attack on Genosha begins, the episode got so good. I'm not just saying that because it's like a huge battle. I just think everything leading up to it was good. And I liked the Gambit, Rogue, Magneto part. And I will say I liked everything. I just didn't love everything until the attack on Genosha started. I just didn't love everything until it got to that point where everything just pulled together. I think Gambit's death, I was like, how? I was like shocked that they actually did that. Like, it was just there were so many bold moves that this show made. Let's move on to episode 7. Actually, the Charles part. I didn't love that, actually, as much as I thought I was going to. I think the space part just kind of... It feels so disconnected from the rest of the show. Same with Life Death. I feel like both of those parts just don't feel like... It's like everything that goes on with X-Men 97, and then there's this other stuff. And it doesn't feel like you're watching the same show. I think Life Death is way too dark for this show, and it doesn't feel like you're watching it. And same with that space stuff. I was like, how did we get here? Like, even now, I'm like, I kind of understand what happened. I understand the gist of what happened, but I don't fully understand what the point of those characters are. Like, what's going to happen with them now? Are they going to come back in season 2? Like, there were just some decisions I didn't love that were made. 7 was good. I will say 7 was good. I think 7 is like the one episode I love, but I also couldn't tell you a thing about it now that it's done. I think what's so good about episode 7, like, I think for me personally, it blends too much with 8. But I think that's actually a good thing. I love everything that happens, especially with Rogue. I think Rogue has done so well in this episode. Episode 8 was very good. I think episode 8 was probably one of the strongest. I loved how dark it felt and how... That was really something I loved. How dark it felt for the X-Men. So I loved episode 8. 9 was also very good. I like 9. I don't think I like 9 as much as 8, but I very much like 9. And 10 was good. 10 was really good. I loved so much that 10 presented. I didn't think 10 was as epic as like it could have been necessarily. So I feel like 9 was the real finale, and I really enjoyed 9, and I also really enjoyed a lot of what 10 did. But I think overall it's not like this show has a lot of really high highs. And I will say when it gets good, it gets good. But I think if you were someone who saw the first 5 seasons and is a huge comic book reader and a huge X-Men fan, this show's and an animation fan, this show's gonna be incredible, and you're gonna love it. But as someone who really is a little bit foreign to animation, who doesn't love this style, I don't know as much about the X-Men as a ton of other people do. I just don't feel like this worked as well for me as I would have liked it to. But it's by no means that I hate this show. This is probably one of the best Disney Plus shows they've ever done. I loved so many parts of it. When the show got good, it got good. I just feel like there were some parts of the show, especially Life Death, when it just didn't work for me. But overall, the show was still incredible. I loved it, and I can't wait to see season 2, which I think comes out very soon. So, yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.